Welcome everyone to MakerGirl's online curriculum. Today we're going to be going through our Under the Sea session. First, I'm just going to talk about what we're going to do today. So today you're going to be designing a 3D print related to the ocean. First, you're going to get to brainstorm your design on paper. Second, you'll get to create your idea in TinkerCAD. Then you can send us your 3D print and we'll wrap up with a saltwater activity. So first, I want you guys to think about and ask yourself, what does STEM stand for? You can take a minute here, pause the video if you want to think about this question, and maybe write your answers on your worksheet. So welcome back. Now, I hope you've had some time to write your answers on your worksheet, and the correct answer is S in STEM stands for science, T stands for technology, E stands for engineering, and M stands for math. Now, since the theme today is under the sea, we're going to be talking about coral reefs, and here are some pictures of coral reefs to start. Coral reefs are live, tiny organisms called polyps, and these polyps eat plankton and algae. They're located near the equator coastlines and islands throughout the world. Many animals attach themselves to the reefs, including sponges, starfish, clams, and snails. Coral reefs grow very slowly. It's estimated that the largest coral reefs took about 30 million years to form. Coral can grow in many different shapes as well. So, now, do you know what is happening to coral reefs around the globe? Well, coral reefs are suffering from many environmental effects, and some coral reefs have turned white because they lose their algae when the water gets too salty or warm, as you can see in these pictures. Now we're going to watch a video about 3D printing for coral reefs. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now we can begin step 1, which is brainstorming. You can go ahead and take some time to think about what you would like to design. Draw out your ideas on a piece of paper. Make it under the sea related and start brainstorming. Think about all the different shapes you can use, and you can go ahead and pause the video here. Press play when you are ready for the next step. Step 2 is designing in TinkerCAD. Here are just a few tips and tricks when working in TinkerCAD. First, you can drag and drop the shapes you want to use from the right-hand side of your screen. Second, you want to remember to keep everything on the blue workplane. The blue workplane acts as the base of a 3D printer, so you want to be sure that all of your shapes are touching it so that the 3D printer can print it correctly. Third, don't worry about the color of the shapes. Our printers can only print one color. So, even though some shapes are different colors, don't worry because your design will be printed in one color. And finally, feel free to watch our video about TinkerCAD for more help. Once again, you can pause the video here to design in TinkerCAD and play the video when you are ready for the next step. Welcome back. Now that you've designed in TinkerCAD, I'm going to explain to you how 3D printers work. The first step in the 3D printing process is TinkerCAD. This you can see in the first picture on the far left, and this is a step you just completed. Once you finish designing in TinkerCAD, we take your design and put it into a program called Cura. In Cura, we are able to resize your design. Something as big as a water bottle could take up to 15 hours to 3D print. Because we do not have that much time to spend on every 3D print, we resize your designs to be able to fit in the palm of your hand. These prints take about 40 minutes on our 3D printers. Once we've resized your design in Cura, we then put it onto an SD card, which you can see in the third picture. We then take this SD card with your design and put it inside the 3D printer and simply press the print button. On the back of our 3D printers, there is a spool of plastic which is called filament. This you can see in the first picture on the far left, and it's that bright pink plastic on the back of the 3D printer. When we hit the print button on the 3D printer, the printer heats up, as you can see in the second picture. Now, if you are ever able to see a 3D printer in person or come to one of our sessions, we always remind our students to never touch the 3D printers because they get so hot. The 3D printer heats up to about the temperature that your oven cooks your dinner at. So remember, never touch the inside of a 3D printer. As the printer heats up, it begins to create your 3D print, starting layer by layer from the bottom up, as you can see in the third little video. Finally, once the printer has layered your design from the bottom up, it finishes at the top, as you can see in the last picture of the little robot design. Now I'm going to introduce you to a famous woman in STEM, Nicole Dublier. Nicole is a marine microbiologist. She is a pioneer in symbiotic relationships between sea animals and their microbial partners. Nicole discovered a new form of symbiosis under the sea, and she is currently the director of the symbiosis department at the Max Planck Institute for Marine Microbiology in Bremen, Germany. Now I'm going to teach you what density is. Density is a word we use to describe how much space an object or substance takes up, or in other words, its volume, in relation to the amount of matter in that object or substance, or its mass. The formula for density equals mass divided by volume. When you add salt to water, it makes the water more dense, meaning the water gets heavier. Many objects that sink in fresh water will float in salt water. Feel free to try this activity at home to see the effects of density come to life. The materials you will need include small plastic jewels, raw eggs or small grapes, several clear cups full of water, salt, sugar, and baking soda. You can go ahead and dissolve 2 tablespoons of salt in 1 cup, 2 tablespoons of sugar in another cup, and 2 tablespoons of baking soda in a third cup. Be sure to leave 1 cup as plain, fresh water, and label each cup with its contents. Think about what might happen when you drop different objects into each cup. Will they sink or float? Then go ahead and drop objects into each cup to see if your guesses were correct. Feel free to pause the video to reread the directions and complete the saltwater density activity. Now we want to remind you to share your TinkerCAD design with your family and friends. Tell them what TinkerCAD shapes you use to make your brainstormed idea come to life. And ask yourself the following questions. What was the hardest part of designing? What was your favorite thing you learned about 3D printing? Thank you so much for watching and participating in our Under the Sea session, and we hope to see you in more sessions soon. Thank you.